Good evening, guys, and happy Tuesday to all of your sunshiny faces. Well, guys, the day today started out pretty normal. Me and my mom actually had to run an errand. Well, my mom ran like 2 errands on her own, and then she came back, picked me up, and then we went and ran another errand. That was like, we already had the plan to do that. I also finished my grocery list yesterday, so like today, my plan was sort of to, like go through the photos and then also probably get some editing done too, because what I've noticed is I've been a lot more productive with the photos if I just spend like a few hours every day instead of being like, I'm gonna sit here like all day and just try and work on it and like dedicating a whole day. I've been doing a little bit better if I've been like working on stuff like periodically. So we're also, I think over this weekend, we're going to go and pick up the couches that my aunt's giving us, because I told you guys how she's moving. So we're probably going to go and pick those up from her over the weekend, probably maybe on Saturday or something. I believe that's the plan. So I'm not planning on having the photos done by Saturday, but I'll probably end up potentially going with at least, and probably hopefully be able to explain to her and show her maybe kind of like what I've been doing, and hopefully explaining to her how I've been going through and organizing the photos and everything like that, and just make sure that like it works and makes sense for her. It's kind of hard to like say it over a text message or even like call her, kind of, whereas like I feel like if I see her in person I can maybe explain it to her a little bit better. You know, just ask her like if she thinks everything will work, and explain to her like kind of how far I'm done, because again too, like today I was like, I feel like I'm kind of finishing up like really with the stuff that I know and like can do, if that makes sense. So like, you know, going through the stuff that I'm like, I definitely have a date for these photos and stuff like that, and the ones that I don't, I can still kind of place them. Overall, I'm like kind of feeling like the ones that I can accurately like place, I've been kind of finishing up with for the most part, especially like really the 60s through the like 80s. Those are the ones that I have pretty well organized as of right now, which is awesome. So like I said, that's, you know, it's good to have that stuff done. I have like a couple little piles of stuff that I don't know necessarily when that is, but I can probably put like probably somewhere between like the 70s or maybe 80s, or you know, like maybe 60s or something like that, if I kind of know it but don't know the date for sure. But again too, you can kind of tell by like the photos, and like also too because they'll be different sizes and stuff like that, and you know, like depending on, you know, like I said, kind of the quality or like the coloring of the photos and stuff like that, you can sometimes kind of tell too a little bit better. And again too, like if my mom wasn't born yet, I know it's like before, you know, like a certain time. I know if my aunts and uncles are in there, you know, it's probably another time as well. So again too, like that kind of stuff, it makes it a little bit easier to place. So like I said, I think that's kind of the point where I'm at now, is that I don't know that there's much more that I can like definitively place. It's just kind of probably going to be like I might know when this is kind of thing. So anyways, I was working on that though once we got back from running the errands today, and then we ended up grilling for dinner tonight because it was so beautiful out today, guys. It was like 60s, maybe 72 or something like that. I actually, when me and my mom ran our errands today, I was wearing shorts and this sweatshirt. I didn't need to wear long pants. I didn't need a jacket. Like, it was nice. So again, we ended up grilling also too, because like, I don't know, maybe I've just been missing burgers or something like that, but I had my I had the Impossible Burger, and it was, I ended up making it more like a traditional burger. A lot of times when I do, I will just add like, I really like Dijon mustard, mayonnaise. Sometimes it depends, American cheese or provolone cheese. A lot of times I lean towards provolone cheese, pickles and onions and tomatoes. I like a good amount of fixings on my burger. And also too, for me, the texture of like the Impossible Burger is like close enough that like, even though it might not taste necessarily 100% like a burger, I feel like the real thing that tastes like a burger is like the condiments that you end up adding to it, and like whatever, you know, like the bun, and you know, like I said, if you add ketchup or whatever it is, like that kind of is what makes it taste more like a burger. If you just ate it dry, it tastes disgusting. But I feel like if you ate a regular beef burger dry, it really, like, it, you know what I mean, like the fixins are what makes the burger. So for me, it's kind of the same thing too. But today I decided to change it up and went with like a, I don't know if you would call it a traditional burger. And I ended up adding, which I normally don't add ketchup and mustard, like regular like yellow mustard. So I ended up doing that. And that was like regular like American cheese and tomatoes. I didn't have onions, but it was almost like I was trying to recreate like a McDonald's hamburger or cheeseburger, I guess. And because I haven't had one in like, I don't even know, probably actually I think middle school is the last time I ever ate a hamburger from McDonald's, because after we watched Super Size Me, I was just like, this, I don't think I like that much anymore. And that's when I actually first started giving up meat. At that point I didn't eat any meat from like fast food restaurants anymore, and would very rarely actually eat it out at all. So then after that, right after I graduated high school, like I think a month after I graduated high school, or no, maybe a few months after, I remember it was the day, the specific day was actually Jack's football party. After his first year of tackle football, I coached that year, and they were having a football party. And I remember I would always get pepperoni pizza, and I remember Matthew being like, you couldn't give up pepperoni pizza or bacon. Those were like my two things that I really did like. But I was never a huge meat eater anyway to begin with, so it wasn't really that difficult for me to like just decide I didn't want to eat it anymore. Like I really didn't like having like hamburgers or like chicken nuggets and stuff like that, like from fast food places. Like I really like just getting like a large fry or something like that. And again too, that would be like if we went out when I was like between middle school aged and high school, I would still only just get like fries or something like that. I just didn't like the meat anyway. And so, but like on occasion, like I said, I'd have like maybe pepperonis on a pizza or like bacon or something like that. But I would like, I hated hamburgers. Like there came a point where I couldn't stand them anymore. It was like way too meaty, and like it just tasted too processed. Like I just didn't like them anymore. So like I said, I ended up then like that day, I remember Matthew telling me, he was like, you couldn't give it up. He was like, you know, like you love pepperoni too much, and you love, you know, like again too, like I like chili, but like that's because like it wasn't like the main focal point of like the meal, like because there was also beans in there and stuff like that. But then I realized I liked it without the like beef. Like it was fine. And so like, you know, that was the other thing though that was kind of difficult, was that like knowing that I didn't eat enough of the meat, like getting my protein somewhere else. So now that I don't eat meat, I'm more conscious of it, if that makes sense. So like making sure that I like get my protein from other sources and like that kind of stuff, and my iron as well, you know, like those kind of things. You know, where I'm subtracting actual meats from, I'm making sure that I supplement it. Whereas before I'd just be like, again too, like I'd eat fries from like a fast food restaurant or whatever, which looking back was not, you know, like very sustainable, because I wasn't getting the meat, even though maybe I would still eat it on occasion. It was like I didn't know how to supplement the nutrition that I needed. So like I said, I think I'm much more health conscious of that now. Whereas again too, I will still eat processed food. I'm not above like eating processed food, but at the same time too, I just know that like, because I've given up meat now that I know I don't eat meat anymore, I know that I need to supplement those in other ways, and how to be like healthy about that, if that makes sense. And also too, like I said, it was just I didn't like a lot of the meat and like the way it was, and like cooked in certain ways and stuff like that. And like steak to me, oh, I can't stand steak. Like the chewy texture of steak and stuff like that, I just never liked that. Like I said, the only way I could ever eat meat was like if it was hidden in something else, so like a casserole or something like that. But then again too, it was just I would eat it so infrequently, and sometimes too I just wouldn't feel good after I'd eat it. That coupled with the fact that Matthew told me I couldn't do it, I decided to prove him wrong. And like after a month I was like, I haven't eaten meat for a month, and then it turned into like 2 months, and then before I knew it, it was a year. And I generally don't know, honestly, it's probably going on almost 10 years now. It'll be 10 years probably this August actually, or no, when would that have been? Like this October. So that I have not eaten meat for, which is pretty crazy, guys. That's honestly really cool. Anyways, today was not to talk about my delicious meatless McDonald's like burger that I had today, because like I said, it had all the same stuff that like I associate with a McDonald's burger, you know, like I said, like just a traditional fast food kind of burger. But I don't like to do mine that way. I like to do mine a little bit more fancy and add a whole lot of other stuff like provolone cheese and Dijon mustard and you know, like that kind of stuff. But I like the flavors of those better, and like I like that, I think, like I said, more, and it's like stronger than like yellow mustard. I don't know, but again, having it today just reminded me so much of just like regular, like just like what a burger I feel like is. Like if you went to like somebody's house and they were grilling, that's probably what they'd have out, is like tomatoes, lettuce. I added lettuce too, and which I normally don't add because I don't know, I just feel like it kind of tastes weird with like the mustard and the mayonnaise and stuff like that when I have it with the other type of burger I have. Also too, when I have the black bean burgers, which all these are really, really good, I love theirs, I will normally add provolone cheese and just avocado to it. I don't add like really anything else, but that too, that is really good. And normally I do 2 of those at a time and then do like half an avocado on each, along with provolone cheese. I don't know why, guys. I ate and I'm like talking like I'm still hungry or something like that. But anyways, this is because of the anticipation for it being summer weather outside. I have to talk about all the grilling food that I'm excited for. And those are some of them. But again, too. So we ended up grilling. We ate. Then, guys, this evening, it was actually right after I finished my burger, all of a sudden we got hit with a, well, we were under like a thunderstorm warning, I think, or watch or something like that, like most of the day today, just because the temperature was so high, and then, you know, and it's supposed to cool off like crazy tonight. But when I was finished with my burger, we ended up under a tornado watch. I did hear that there was a potential tornado, or I don't know if there was a tornado or like a supercell or something like that, you know, like some type of rotating cloud, I think they said, because I was watching on the Weather Channel, because again too, the tornado sirens actually were going off, and it was pretty nasty looking outside, but like it wasn't windy at all, and it wasn't like, it was thundering for like hours beforehand though, before it even was like raining. Then it was like raining for like an hour, then all of a sudden we got a tornado warning, or tornado watch. So we were under that for like almost like over half an hour too. I want to say it was maybe close to an hour was what they like kind of said it was supposed to be, but like after a half hour it was kind of like, it wasn't even like raining outside, and it really wasn't like, you know, it wasn't windy, like nothing, and the tornado sirens had already went off, like, or hadn't come back on, and they kept adjusting the time to like taking it down. They were like, oh, it's like gonna be, I think it was like 8:30 or something like that, and then they were like 8:15, and then yeah, it didn't end up actually lasting that long, I don't really think. But anyways, so yeah, that's crazy though, guys, because it's February here in the Midwest. We don't get tornadoes in the middle of February or the end of February, and we also don't get like 70-degree weather in February either. But we did, and it's supposed to cool down insanely tonight, and it's supposed to be only like 40 degrees maybe tomorrow, or 30 or something like that. So obviously today's like 70, tomorrow's supposed to be like 30. That's why like those are the perfect conditions for thunderstorms and, you know, like rotating clouds, tornadoes, all of that kind of, you know, scary sort of weather. So again, we, you know, like, as from what I can tell, it wasn't even really windy or anything like that, so I don't think there was much damage. But I did hear it sounded like there was hail. It was very, very loud. If not hail, I mean the like raindrops had to have been giant buckets that were falling, because it sounded super loud. And again too, thankfully, like our garden window too, which I mean we've had when it's rained, but we haven't really had in like a bad storm yet. So like, I mean, you know, with the hail and everything like that, nothing like broke or anything, thankfully. But like that is interesting too, because like, I mean, if you have like a skylight, like it has to be very well protected too for like hail damage and stuff like that. But I don't know specifically if that's like window has the same type of like reinforcement as like, because I mean I've seen like the glass on like those kind of like, you know, like skylights and stuff like that. It doesn't seem like it's the same kind of glass as like the one in the garden window. Like that just seems like it's regular like window pane kind of glass, but it's sloped like that. So I mean the they can hit like right on the top, you know, like again, hail and stuff like that. But from what I can tell, like I said, nothing looks like it was, you know, damaged or anything like that, thankfully. I mean, obviously it was dark outside though, which is the other weird thing too, is that like we were grilling and it was like so nice and warm out, and then it's like still like dark by like 7 o'clock. You know, like it's not summertime, it's not like after 8 o'clock like the sun sets. It was like setting by like, you know, it was like starting to, you could tell like it was like evening time by like 6 o'clock. My dad's out there like grilling and it's getting like dark out and stuff like that. I mean, in addition to that too, the storm, you know, and everything, but it was not raining or anything like that, or thundering or, you know, anything when he was grilling. It was just after that, like the entire time while I was eating my burger. And then afterwards, like I said, well, we ended up being under tornado watch today, which again wasn't very fun. But thankfully too, we didn't lose any power or the cable either too, because I was like, the internet's gonna go out or something, because normally if our power doesn't go out, the internet goes out, and then if the power goes out, obviously the internet goes out too. But thankfully we didn't really need to worry about either of those, because it didn't end up happening, thankfully, because I was like, what do we do in the middle of February? Like, you know, the furnace is gonna have to be turning on tomorrow because it's gonna be so hot, you know, or so cold that we're gonna need the heat. And, you know, it's not like the power is gonna go out or something, because we got a thunderstorm in February, and yet tomorrow we're gonna need the furnace again. And I was like, this is gonna be horrible if the power goes out. But thankfully it didn't. Normally if the tornado siren goes out, we'll try and go like in the hallway, because that's the most interior room. Like under our stairs is probably the best spot to go. And then, I mean, if we really needed to, we could try and make it into the crawl space. But the other problem too is that the dogs and everything like that, like we're probably, especially Bliss, we would not be able to get her into the crawl space. So ideally the best interior space is like the hallway under the stairs kind of. But anyways, we were all in there, and then I just had the TV on though, and I was listening to the Bulls game from the hallway. We were switching and watching the Weather Channel too, and then when they were like, oh, it's like, you know, like we kind of tell everything was sort of passing. And also too, because like you could hear like the thunder prior, and then during, and then like after, it was like way quieter than what it was before. So that's why I was like, the storm's definitely moving. But anyways, yeah, that was the excitement for today, was that we had a tornado watch during February, which is, like I said, very interesting, because you know, I honestly wonder if that has like ever happened at all. Like if in the month of February, like in Illinois, we've ever had a tornado watch. I mean, I know in December, I want to say it was maybe not this past December, this December before that, there was a tornado that touched down. It was somewhat destructive too. Like it wasn't just like strong winds and then they, you know, because like that will happen sometimes too, is that if the winds are really bad, tornado siren will go off too. Like, I mean, if it's like a cell kind of, but like it's just the wind is really bad, because again too, that can also be really dangerous. So sometimes the tornado sirens will go off even just like for that, even though like again too, it might be in the area and, you know, like that kind of stuff. If it's just really bad conditions, a lot of times still it will go off, even if there's like not one even like really located near our area. We can still sometimes end up where the tornado sirens will go off. So like I said though, I don't know though if February has ever been a month where that has happened. Again too, because with the temperature, like it's supposed to get cold over the next, like, I don't know, maybe 2 days. Then by the weekend it's supposed to be back up into like the 60s, I think. Something like that. So we might be grilling again. I don't know, maybe it's not the 60s, maybe high 50s or like maybe low 60s, something like that. It's not supposed to be quite as warm as like today and yesterday. But again too, that's kind of, you know, like we've had that where like this last week too, it was like warm for a couple days, then it got cold, then it got warm again these last 2 days. Now it's gonna get cold again, and I'm not looking forward to that, because I don't want weather like this all the time happening, because it's that dramatic shift and change in the temperature that causes like the really bad storms and stuff like that. And so I'm not looking forward to that. Like, I just like for spring to be here would be nice, and then we can deal with the you know, summer weather and stuff like that. But I'm not ready and not looking forward to any more of that kind of stuff right now. I'd rather it just be nice spring, and like spring showers would be fine with me. Yeah, no, today was a little much. But anyways, I will see you guys in tomorrow's vlog. If you guys did enjoy today's, make sure you guys give the gold thumbs up. If you guys are new, we'd love if you'd subscribe, and I'll see all of your sunshiny faces tomorrow. So bye guys.